Masada yun to. Ay, तो kanina tayo to eh, kaya हाँ तो इसलिए पीछे जाने के नहीं तो खाला मिलूंगा देखा वो आ गया है, नहीं आ गया क्या अच्छा कहीं हाँ आई सुनो खाला को फोन कर लो इसकी निगाह की
Very good evening, everyone. My name is Chetan Preet. I'm going to take you through this webinar on Montessori teacher training today. If you have any queries, we'll address at the end of this webinar. So right now, in the middle of the webinar, I have changed the talk settings, so you will not be able to unmute yourself. However, at the end, you will be able to. In the meanwhile, you can always react with you can make use of reactions to react to anything. So once again, good evening, everyone. Before we begin to in this webinar, I'd like to know who are all are in this room today. Do we have teachers? Do we have parents? Do we have aspiring educators? Do we have aspiring entrepreneurs, school owners? Who all do we have here today? And I'm going to just remind you that today is not about memorizing any Montessori terminology. It is just about knowing and understanding why, Montessori education continues to grow. It's been around for more than 100 years and why it continues to grow stronger day by day. So a bit about Up Educators first. At Up Educators, we update, uplift, upkeep, upgrade, upskill the educators. Up Educators has academic partnership with Google for Education, with Cambridge International Education, MEPSC and Skill India, STEM.org, Intel Skills for Innovation, OTHM, NASCOM, and ATHIC. It is one of India's leading institute which offers instructor-led training courses to the educators, equipping them with 21st century pedagogy, AI tools, modern innovative teaching practices, and digital AI tools. At Up Educators, we've trained 25,000 plus educators from 9,000 plus schools and colleges, from around 25 countries. And we are the largest teacher community on social media with 4 lakh plus followers, and the number is growing every day in India itself. You are all also welcome to join us on Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. On your screen are Up Educators Google reviews ratings. From time to time, Up Educators organizes Teachers Olympiads. You might have heard about them. They are the Primary Teachers Olympiads, English Teachers Olympiads, Science Teachers Olympiads, Pre-Primary Maths and Digital Teachers Olympiads. Those who participate get the certificate and load of other benefits. Tremendous media coverage has been received by these Olympiads, by the leading dailies as well as the social media. From time to time, Up Educators invites expert voices in education, and those of you who are doing our courses get a chance to attend those. Our National Teaching Award winners on your screens. A few Up Educators initiatives. Up Educators is in partnership with Google for Education, has launched the largest nationwide AI training program to upskill 10,000 plus educators in AI literacy and practical classroom use of these tools. It has partnered with Google for Education to train 20,000 plus faculty and students across India in building AI-ready campuses, which will be aligned with the NEP 2020. It has also built India's first offline AI platform, which is called Up Educate AI, which is designed for teachers, students, and parents. The platform works completely offline on Intel AI-powered laptops. Up Educators is also in association with NASSCOM Future Skills, offers an advanced AI course for educators, which is accredited by the Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology, recognized by the Government of India. It is also in collaboration with Google and will train 20,000 teachers across India on information literacy. A few popular courses offered by Up Educators: Google Certified Educator course, Google Certified Trainer course, AI course for educators, Advanced AI for Educators course, Online Teaching course for educators. Then there are courses on pedagogy, which is the Cambridge course, Innovative Teaching Practices course, Instructional Design course, courses to become future ready with STEM. So STEM courses are STEM certified teachers, drone for educators, and robotics. In early childhood, we have the ECCE course, the NTT course, and the Montessori teacher training course. If you need more information on these, you can always visit our website, www.appeducators.com, for all the complete information. Up Educators has also introduced and taken the initiative to introduce India's first AI platform, which we know is the need for the hour. In the current times, our old skills are no longer useful. So we need AI tools. So which empowers Indian educators to teach smarter with AI. I know everyone uses AI these days. However, we use it like Google, right? So here in these courses, they are taught how to prepare lesson plans, activities and games, content, questions and assignments, subject-wise tools, board-wise tools, and a lot more. So 20,000 plus of our educators have been Google certified and Microsoft certified. So that is about Up Educators. Now let's go on to what we are here for today. I'm sure most of you recognize the person on your screen. He's Elon Musk. What is he famous for? He is the richest man in the world. And he's also famous for many other things, like he is the CEO of Tesla. He is the CEO and chief engineer of SpaceX. founder of the Boring Company, co-founder of Neuralink, and owner of Twitter. But he's famous for one more thing, and that is his large family. He has 14 children. Now, he established a new Montessori preschool called Ad Astra because he felt that the current education systems were not suitable and Montessori is what he wanted to enroll his children in. And not only him, but there are other famous people across the globe who are Montessori school alumni, like the founder of Amazon and the co-founders of Google, like Larry Page, Sergey Brin, Jeff Bezos. They are all Montessori school alumni. And not only these, but other people closer home, like Indira Gandhi, and the children of all the famous Bollywood celebrities. Then we have other famous people across the globe like Princess William and Harry, George Clooney, and many of them, they are all Montessori school. So that means Montessori education has had a global expansion. According to the data, in 2022, there were 15,763 Montessori schools spread across 154 countries, and this data has risen in the last 4 years a lot. It is one of the fastest growing preschool education methods in the world, and that is why we all are here today. This demand has been in India has been rising, in the last decade, and exceeding a growth rate of 50%. So why is this demand of Montessori education increasing across the world? We are going to find out about that. But before that, let's find out who is this person who is behind all this. Her name is Maria Montessori, the pioneer of the Montessori method. Maria Montessori was born in Italy in 1870 in a very small province of Chiaraville. She was born at a time which was very conservative for female students, and it was felt that the only suitable professions or career options for girls were nursing and teaching. However, she wanted to become a doctor, and needless to say, it was met with a lot of resistance. But in spite of the rejection, she persisted and she got admission in the University of Rome, and she became one of Italy's first female doctors in 1896. I'm sure you must be thinking, how is this related to education? After becoming a doctor, since she had opted, her specialty was pediatrics, and she had also opted for psychiatry. So she was supposed to treat special needs children. But since she was female, she was not allowed to treat people in the urban areas. So she only treated the special needs children in the slum areas. So, but how did this shift happen from medicine to education? Now, when she was, when she passed out and became the first female doctor in Italy, after that, like it happens, when we do any medical degree in India also. So after that, you are assigned to a mentor as an intern. So she was doing the same. She was visiting asylums along with a mentor. There, once she was visiting an asylum, the children were kept chained. And those days, very derogatory terms were also used for special needs children. And she saw that when the chains were opened for the lunch hour, and in spite of having had the fill of their food and they were no longer hungry, the children kept fiddling with crumbs. Right? So this and many such examples brought a thought in her mind, and it occurred to her that the answer to all of these children and their disabilities was actually the conducive, a right kind of environment. She felt that it was not medicine which they needed, but they needed a suitable environment. And all of these disabilities she felt were related to an impoverished environment. And one of the factors was movement. The children craved movement and they were kept chained. So as a result of these observations, she concluded that with the right kind of materials, these young minds could be nurtured, which led her to an education method which focused on optimal stimulation during childhood's sensitive periods. Now, many of you would be thinking, what are childhood's sensitive periods? These are temporary windows of opportunity in a child's life when they are focused on one activity or one aspect of the environment and everything else takes a backseat. To put it simply, when children start walking, you see that they walk all day. They don't sit down at all like us adults. We only walk when needed, when we need to get something. But children don't sit at all the entire day. They climb steps, they come down, they are playing, moving with the toys, they're pulling along toys, they're pushing things. In short, they're walking all day. So that is one sensitive period of movement. Or, you know, fiddling or fidgeting with tools and manipulating things at home, like, playing with roti belan, katori chammach, and all those things. They are also an inner desire which they have. This is also a sensitive period. They have other sensitive periods, like sometimes they display a need for order. The need for order is so pronounced that if you have kept things which not like you usually keep them, they get disturbed. For example, in your house, you have a shoe rack where you put things in an orderly manner, put the shoes in an orderly manner. One day they are kept randomly and haphazardly. The children get upset. They either insist on putting things back in place, or they might throw tantrums. Or, another simple example which is very relatable for everyone is, let's say you have someone visiting your house, your sister or your co-sister, or someone is at home and she's wearing your chappals or your dupatta or something like that. So the children, go and snatch it from them. Has it happened with anyone? Right? So children go and, they say that this is my mama's, and they get it back for you. This is not any possessive desire. This is actually a need for order. So children do have this kind of sensitive period. There are various other sensitive periods. So Maria Montessori concluded that the need is to focus, observe, identify the sensitive periods and focus on them, meaning provide the right kind of environment to meet the needs of the sensitive periods. That is what the method was about. So after that, she co-founded an orthoponics school along with another doctor, where she taught children with disabilities using hands-on sensory-based tools. In this process, she witnessed incredible progress, which was better than expected from even normal students. So that is how the shift happened from physician to educator, scientist. Now she was observing children and she was always refining the method. She never came with any set ideas or things. She just observed the children and she observed their needs, and she kept on refining, modifying, introducing things according to them. Do you have a question? Anuradha, do you have a question? Okay. So the key message here is that she realized that special needs education techniques could benefit all children. She started as something which she was working on was for special needs children, because she was a doctor for special needs children. But having worked with them, she realized that these education techniques could actually benefit all children. And now this led to another desire in her, that why not work with typical or normal children? Because she felt that, all these methods were working so well with the special needs children, and so much so that the method became really popular and people wanted to know what she was doing with them. And when tested at par with the typical or normal children, her special needs children fared very well, almost at par with the typical children. So that led to another desire, that now I should see how, then what is holding back our normal children? That was her thought. So everyone knew she was looking for such an opportunity. Now, such an opportunity arose in the slum district of San Lorenzo in Rome, where Maria Montessori was actually working as a director of hygiene. She was a doctor, and we know that she worked in slum areas only. So here she was the director of hygiene. So when she was working here, in the same area, the labor class families used to live, and we all know that in labor class families, both parents go to work because they need to earn to be able to put food on the table. So when they were working, these children were left unattended. So what happens when young children are left unattended? There is mischief. So children were vandalizing property, they were causing harm to things, to themselves, to others. So the developers decided that someone needed to take care of these children. So they approached her to find a constructive way to engage the children. Now she was already looking for such an opportunity. Although her friends, she was a very illustrious doctor, and her friends were laughing at what she was getting into. What was this she was getting into? But she was so keen to work with normal children that she readily accepted this opportunity. So what seemed like a social challenge, it actually became a turning point. It was her first chance to apply her ideas to typical children in real life settings. That is where it all started. So the first children's house opened in 1907 in San Lorenzo in Rome. In Italian, it was called the Casa di Bambini. Casa means home or house, and Bambini means children. So it was the house of children or children's house. So Maria Montessori started there. The developers had given her a large room, nothing fancy, just a large room, a sturdy table, and a cupboard. That's it. And no tools, nothing like that. So she came in and she had just a few materials, which she was the sensorial materials, with which she was working with her special needs children. She brought in those, and her rich friends donated some expensive used toys. They were thinking that these slum children were not exposed to them, so they had donated some of them. So that's what, armed with all of this, she came to the children's house, and that is where it all started. She used her specially designed materials which she had used in her earlier experiments with the special children. But the result was tremendous when she worked with these children. The children became focused, independent, and even began reading and writing. Now, Maria Montessori never, she just didn't come with a few materials and thought that this is all she needed to do with children. She constantly observed them. A lot of observations she made on it. She was an observer by nature. She would sit back, and she had a girl to help her. And she would sit back in the armchair and keep observing children and take notes. So her observations told her a lot about children. So based on these observations, she would, modify her material, bring in more materials which were needed according to their interests and needs, or she would, remove the materials which were no longer serving the purpose, like that. So she kept on modifying the method to suit the children's needs. And that is why the method came with a lot of research and observation. That is why it is going still strong today. And it was not like, things, she had already gathered some things and brought and started working with children. It was not like that. And the results were tremendous. She introduced the concept of auto education. The materials were such that the children educated themselves of course, with the right kind of environment. So the key message from this is that the method was not born from any theory, but from careful observation and proof. She always kept on observing and modifying her method till the last. So India also has a role to play here. I'm sure you must have heard of the term cosmic. The term cosmic actually comes from the universe, the space, right? So how it has been used here with children is, the word cosmic also means interdependence and harmony in the universe. I'll give you a simple example. Plants, they give out oxygen, which they never need to consume themselves. So it is their cosmic task that they give out oxygen, which others need, which we need. Similarly, bees, they collect honey or nectar, but they never consume it themselves, someone else does. Or, cows, they graze fields to satisfy their hunger, but in turn, they also leave the field fertile. So Likewise, every living organism in the world has a cosmic task. So Maria Montessori recognized the same in the children also, in human beings also. How could they be far behind? So she recognized the child as a cosmic agent. So she felt that the education should be such that she prepared children in such a manner that tomorrow when they became adults, they were usefully contributing members of society. The time which Maria Montessori's method became really famous, and after that, in the 1930s, was a time of world wars also. So she felt that, that means the current education system was not solving its purpose. That is why there was so much intolerance, there was no harmony, there were wars, people were not seeing eye to eye. So that means the current education system was not solving its purpose. So for that, she came up with cosmic education. And during World War II, we know that in Italy there was Mussolini. And Mussolini also saw the popularity of the method and he wanted to use it for his purposes. When the Montessori teachers refused, he ordered the shutting down of all the Montessori schools. So that time, Maria Montessori had to flee Italy and UK, and she came to India and she has stayed here for 7 years. She came here in 1939 with her son, Maria Montessori. Now, till that time, the Montessori method had become really famous worldwide, till 1939. It had spread to, all over Europe. It had spread to Asia. It had spread to all the continents except Antarctica, maybe, America, everywhere. But during the World War, it had to be shut down, and she came to India with her son, stayed here for 7 years. Now, here also, although she was housebound due to the World War, but she has trained over 1,500 teachers. Indians also welcomed her with open arms because they had heard about her methods, and they took the opportunity they invited her to educate the teachers over here. So she lived in Kodaikanal, where she developed cosmic education for the ages 6 to 12. This kind of an education fostered a sense of wonder, responsibility, and connection to all living things, like we just talked about. It also focuses on helping the children understand what is their place in the universe. In India, she met Gandhi, Nehru, and Tagore, and she was deeply moved by the Indian spirituality and values. She was herself a spiritual person by nature, actually, because she was Catholic. However, she left India in 1946, and in 1948 and 49, two of her very famous books, The Absorbent Mind and The Discovery of the Child, came out. They were published. And we would like to believe that India had a role to play. She must have been writing over here. And the mysticism and spirituality in her books does come from India also. She was affected by her stay here. So India shaped her global vision of education as a tool for peace, purpose, and planetary harmony. It was a legacy which changed the entire world. A method which initially began with special needs children, meaning children who were marginalized, eventually transformed education for all. That's why we are all sitting here today. She trained thousands of teachers across Europe, India, and America. Inspired a global movement in over 100 countries, across schools, across homes, across communities. Maria Montessori was nominated 3 times for the Nobel Peace Prize for her work on education as a path to peace. She was never won for awards herself, but her fans were, and they got her nominated thrice. She has not won it, but she was nominated thrice. Maria Montessori passed away at the age of 82 in 1952. After that, the baton of her work was taken over by her son Mario Montessori, who also worked till he was 82 himself. So this led to the birth of Montessori education, which is a revolutionary approach to learning. Now, I'm sure you must be thinking, then what is the difference between this and traditional method, which we're talking so much about Montessori? How is it different from the traditional methods? Now, in this picture, you see the traditional method. Here, the teacher is showing the children the concept of addition. So she has objects in her hand. She will have them count them together, come up with a number and write 3 plus 3 equals 6. Nothing wrong with this method. Great method. That is how the children are studying. So in this method, As you see, primarily two senses are engaged, which are hearing and sight. Traditional method uses two senses through activities such as lectures or reading from textbooks or listening to the teacher. Do you agree with me? That's that's how many senses are used in the traditional method? Give me a thumbs up if you agree. Yes. So auditory and visual are the senses which are engaged in the traditional method. Yes. Thank you. However, the Montessori method is a multi-sensory way of teaching. Here, sorry, if you look at this picture, you can see the child engaged with sandpaper numerals. So here, how many senses are engaged? Minimum three senses are engaged here. The child is looking at them, the visual sense, speaking them, which is the auditory sense, and also touching them or feeling them, tracing them, which is the tactile sense. So the Montessori method is a multi-sensory approach. According to Maria Montessori, the senses are the keys to the universe, or you can also call them the explorers of the world. And they are the ones which open the way to knowledge. Okay. Now, if I ask you, what do you remember from your own school days? I'm allowing you to unmute yourself. Would anyone like to answer? Maybe till class 10. What do you remember from your school days? Anyone? Anything you remember from your school? Anything special, good or bad? I'm sure many of you would remember you participated in a dance performance. You went for an excursion or picnic, right? You participated, maybe in NCC or in some art and craft or some socially useful productive work or something special, or a sports class. Mostly, I'm not saying all, but mostly people remember this from their school. And hardly if anyone, I'm not saying no one, but hardly if anyone remembers what they studied, right? Because it was spoken, we listened to it, right? And then we forgot about it later because it was not sensory. We had no sensorial exposure. We did not experience what we studied. So we don't retain any of that information. That is why when asked, none of us remembers what we study. So the multi-sensory approach helps in this manner that the children retain whatever they have learned. This is one difference. So there are various benefits of such an approach. It improves academic performance. There is better long-term retention. Children develop empathy and interpersonal skills. Then their higher order skills are better than children who have studied in the traditional method because they have experienced things on their own. Let's say a child is pouring from one jug to the other and the beans have spilled, right? So this is a problem which they encounter and now it has to be solved. How? To pick up the spillage and put it back. That is how they learn to solve their problems. But can they learn by just listening to it, someone telling them that when beans spill, you have to put them back? Doesn't work. They just listen from one side and it goes out from the other. They don't remember. But when they encounter it themselves, that's how they remember. So that's how the multi-sensory approach helps. Another aspect is the learning approach. Here it is teacher-led, textbook-based, and very structured. On the other hand, the Montessori approach is child-led, exploratory, and hands-on. The pace of curriculum is also different. It is the same pace for the entire class in a traditional method, whereas in a Montessori method is individualized based on the child's readiness. Role of teacher, of course, consequently, the role of teacher will also become different. Here it is instructor and authority figure. On the other hand, in the Montessori method, teacher takes a back seat. She observes the children, she follows them, she keeps observing. Her role is very important, not that it is not, but she lets them take the lead. And then she decides when to intervene and how much to intervene. Unnecessarily, she won't intervene because it will hinder the children's path to independence. Then the classroom setup is also different. In a traditional one, you will see same age group children sitting on desks in rows and teacher at the front. In fact, the furniture and the setup of the classroom is very intimidating. Children cannot move about freely because there is danger of hurting themselves. And the socialization which happens in the during the day is at most talking to the child who's sitting next to them or in front of them, or at most during lunch hour they could be talking to each other. So there is hardly any social interaction. Whereas here there are mixed age groups, self-chosen activities, freedom of movement, and a prepared environment. You know, young children are not even supposed to sit on chairs and tables for long hours. They cannot. They are not naturally meant to do that. They have here chairs and tables in Montessori environment also, but when they need to, like for reading and writing. The learning materials are also different. In a traditional environment, you will find mostly abstract concepts are delivered through books and worksheets. Let's say a teacher has to teach the child something, she writes on the board. This is one. Okay, this line or this digit written here, this is one or this is two. That's it, no more. Right? Or this is a square. It has four sides. All four sides are equal. Abstract learning. Someone else's discovery being explained to you and children rote learning it. And mind you, children have a lot of capacity to rote learn. They can rote learn a lot. And it looks like they got all the knowledge and they can recite, they can tell you, they can answer. So you feel that children know everything. But there is a certain limit to which one can rote learn. So when they go to higher classes, when that rote learning limit has reached, then they always struggle. On the other hand, here we have concrete self-correcting materials. By working with them, they look like playthings, but children get abstract concepts like dimension, size, big, small, big, bigger, biggest, small, smaller, smallest, rough, smooth, heavy, light, hot, cold. This is one. Then 10 ones become, how 10 ones are becoming 110 and how 10 tens are becoming 100 and how do 10 hundreds become 1000. They can see them live in front of them. And then they're curious, they come to you with questions and then you give them the vocabulary related to it. That is how learning happens. This is their own discovery, not someone else's discovery. The assessment style is also different. In a traditional classroom, like most of us have also studied in the same way, there are regular tests, there are grades and standardized assessments. Whereas in Montessori, there is assessment, but it is formative, it is continuous. Because, you know, young children may not be in a mood today when you decide that you want to test the children today. It may not be their best day anyways. They might be cranky because they didn't sleep well last night. So they may not even give their best results on that day. So all the assessment, which has to be observational, continuous, consistent, and formative. That is how it is done in a Montessori environment. Also, the focus of education is also different. In a traditional system, it is focused on completing the subjects and academic achievement. Whereas here it is on holistic development. Just imagine a building. A building has 4 pillars. If any of its pillars is weak, it is likely to crumble. It is going to be weak. Similarly, a personality has 4 pillars. The physical pillar, the mental, the social, and the emotional pillars. If even one of them is weak, our personality is going to be underdeveloped or weak. Okay, a child who did very well in academics and topped in class but doesn't know how to interact with others, tomorrow when goes looking for a job as an adult, may not be a team person and may not land the best job. who is not socially developed may not know how to express, engage, or work in the right kind of environment. Who is not emotionally developed does not express himself fully, nor does understand others' point of view. Who is not physically well developed does not have the stamina or strength to work. Or so all of these aspects are very, very important, and Montessori focuses on all of them. So the teaching practices which Montessori gave us more than 100 years back, they are a foundation for success in the 21st century. That is why we are still sitting here and talking about it. Mind you, any other method, you know, we see things around. We are in a fast changing world, and things, change. After 5 years, whatever was introduced just disappears and something else takes its place. In technology, after 6 months, new things are coming, right? So old things are just disappearing and constantly changing. But this is one method which is going strong for more than 100 years and still suitable for the 21st century. In fact, all the more suitable now in the 21st century. So how it is? Let's talk about. So what are 21st century skills? I'm sure you must have heard of this term as a fancy term or a fad these days in when you go to a new age school, or even in the corporate jargon you hear of things like the 3 C's, the 4 C's, STEM or STEM education, STEAM education. We have heard about all of this, right? Montessori has the answer to all of them already, and it was provided more than 100 years ago. Now, the reason for all this is because Maria Montessori herself was an educator and scientist. She never brought in anything on a whim. There was thorough research. There was just as scientists do, before any research is given to the world, they do a lot of trial and error. There's a lot of observations, research, and then only they come to any conclusion. So that is how she also did, and that is why the method is still going strong. So what are 21st century skills? To put it simply, those things which help us succeed in the new age world. Those set of skills and competencies or abilities which children need to succeed in today's rapidly changing world. What worked earlier is not working these days. And that is why you are also finding out more about Montessori. Many of you are already trained, I'm sure. You're already working also. Okay. But you feel the need to upgrade or upskill yourself. Right? So because for this today's modern world, we need a new or an advanced or a adapted set of skills. Now, these skills go beyond our traditional academic knowledge, and they will focus on preparing the learners for the real life challenges. What are these skills? Some of them are like self-control, self-direction or autonomy, problem solving and critical thinking, creativity, socio-emotional development, collaboration and communication, global citizenship, and respect for diversity. These are the skills which we need in today's fast changing, rapid changing worlds. And the current education systems, not only Montessori, others also, are providing answers here, are providing these things are inbuilt in their curriculum. Now, what is self-control? How a Montessori environment caters to this skill. So here, children choose their own work. First of all the work is open and reachable, so they can freely choose. Secondly, every material, every apparatus is useful, positive. Then only we can give the child freedom. We cannot give the child freedom to while away their energies and do whatever they like. But the choices are all good, and the freedom is given only to choose from those activities which are up to their pace and level. So they choose their work, they complete it at their own pace, and in doing so, I mean, there is a pattern which happens every day in the classroom. Choose, do, return. Choose their work, complete it, and return. Choose, do, return. Choose, do, return. Such cycles, when they happen every day, it leads to impulse control and focus. These children learn to control their impulses. They learn to regulate themselves. I'll give you a similar example from adults. Let's say you are standing on a red light, okay, and you see that there's no one to see, or probably there are no cameras also, right? But you still don't jump the light. You follow the rules. That is the kind of self-control these children develop by just being in this environment for certain amount of time. Self-direction or autonomy. This is the second skill. So here learners choose activities based on their interests. They work independently and set their own pace. Okay. Uh, by doing so, they discover how much they need to work on it or how many times they need to repeat it to master. Because some people, they see something being done once or twice and they master it. There might be others like me who probably need to repeat it 10 times to fully master it. So children discover their own pace over here. The approach here is help me do it myself. The children are working on their own, but they may need help. They are given a demonstration and initiation, and wherever they're stuck, and when the teacher feels that there's danger of them becoming frustrated, she goes and gently intervenes and helps wherever needed. Otherwise, the children are learning on their own, and they are learning to solve challenges without any adult intervention. So this leads to autonomy. Then there is problem solving and critical thinking. All the materials which are used in the Montessori labs, they are self-correcting and they are designed to challenge thinking. Like I gave you the example of pouring, right? So children discover that it's a problem and they solve it on their own. I'll give you an example, a real life example from one of my own trainees. During COVID, he said that, he had two little girls and COVID had just started. And, they hadn't just bought masks as yet. They were supposed to buy, but they hadn't bought. So they had to go out one day and they didn't have any masks. So the little girl, what she did, she got some cloth napkins and some rubber bands and she tried to make masks for them. So what is this if not problem solving? Socio-emotional skills. There are mixed age groups classrooms, ideally, not necessarily. Ideally, there are mixed age classrooms in Montessori areas. So here there are children, let's say the classrooms can be 3 to 6, 6 to 9, 0 to 3. So within the 3 to 6 classroom, let's say, there are three age groups, 3 to 4, 4 to 5, and 4 to 6. So here the older ones become the younger ones' role models. Okay, and they can also help them. So, and children, readily accept help from their peers even more than from their adults. So it becomes a very harmonious place where there is no competition because the younger ones look up to their older peers, and the older peers also take pride in helping the younger ones, and they become good role models. So in this way, their socio-emotional skills develop. Creativity. So whatever is introduced in the classroom, the teacher initiates with some presentations. And thereafter, since the material is open-ended, she lets the children be to discover on their own. They discover everything in the material and they try out new things. And that leads to creativity and imagination. And there is no fear of judgment there. They can do whatever they like. They have the liberty to make mistakes. They are not judged for them. There is collaboration and communication because there are mixed age groups. So they help each other, they engage in meaningful peer interaction. So there is collaboration and communication. They learn to, in this environment, they learn to cooperate, they learn to share, they learn to compromise, they learn to negotiate, all of that as well. Last but not the least, these are very diverse kind of environments. This class and the curriculum is also integrated, like the cultural subjects in which we have geography, history, science, all together. Like we have in the other methods also, we have EVS instead of science or social science at this age. Science and social science comes later. So this kind of an approach which is integrated makes the learning more permanent and it leads to a lot of respect for diversity in the classroom. So there is acceptance. In cultural studies, you have foods of different, learn about foods of different cultures and places, their traditions, their rituals, other than, of course, animals, their food, the plants, the, water bodies, geography, and then history, charting the civilization growth. So all of that is done together. And when it is done together, the impact is stronger. That is how we do it in an integrated method. give. The teaching materials are also very unique. Although I would still like to say Montessori is about very much about materials, but it is not just materials that you know that you how to use the materials and that's it. More than that, it is the attitude, the approach that is what makes it Montessori. Even a teacher who doesn't have Montessori material can have a Montessori approach. She can use this approach even in her regular classroom. These materials encourage independent learning. There are specialized materials for all the 5 areas: maths, language, sensorial, practical life, and cultural subjects. They enhance problem solving skills because they are self-correcting, like we already established. They refine sensory perception because they can manipulate these things with their hands. So they lead to sensory. They can see them, they can touch them, they can feel them. So sensory perception. Promote sensory motor skills. Boost STEM readiness. What does STEM mean? Science, technology, engineering, methods. There are these hands-on materials. They introduce numbers, counting, arithmetic, whereas there are science tools which encourage discovery through experimentation. There is concrete to abstract learning. Concrete, the materials themselves. It can be blocks, it can be puzzles, it can be anything. They are concrete. Concrete is something which we can see, which we can feel with our hands, which we can perceive. And by just playing with these toy-like things, they get abstract concepts like size, like dimension, like touch, like surface. So all of these abstract concepts, they get by just working with these concrete tools. We cannot give them these abstract concepts by just talking unless they have experienced them. It also prepares them for future careers because the education nurtures adaptability, innovation, and leadership, which will shape future thinkers and creators. And all the multiple intelligences are being catered to here because there are different ways of learning of children. Some are more linguistic. They listen and they can learn. Some are more, spatial. Some are more kinesthetic. So different children have, in simple terms, some learn through song and dance. Some learn through art and craft activities. Some learn through doing things. Some learn through exploring. Some learn through just listening. So it caters to all of these styles. All of these are research-based findings, which you find on your screens. I'm not going to talk about them. You can see them yourself, which will tell you how this method works, how the students outperform their peers in standardized tests if they have been uh, studying in this method, particularly in language and maths. They also do or fare better in tasks which need regular planning, organization, and flexible thinking or problem solving, or even managing their emotions. They have better social emotional skills. They score 15 to 20% higher in cognitive tests as compared to other children. And also they are better adjusted, meaning they have fewer behavioral issues. Fewer behavioral issues means learning becomes easier. Now, what is the advantage of for you all who are watching this if you are interested in the courses we have? So the Montessori teacher training courses benefits you across various roles. Number one, it can get you a job as a preschool teacher. These days, many Montessori schools are coming and they're really popular. And even if they're not Montessori, even regular kindergartens, they prefer Montessori teachers because of their superior knowledge. If you're already working in a preschool and your preschool wants to bring in Montessori, maybe not fully, but they want to bring in a lab or some sort of it, and you want to pitch in for that head of that lab job, or or maybe the school is becoming Montessori and they have asked all their teachers to upskill themselves. So it can help you there. It can also benefit you as a parent because Montessori is very expensive these days, and the schools. So if you cannot afford to send your child to a Montessori school, you can do it yourself and work with your children at home only. Another benefit is if you have entrepreneurial dreams, meaning you want to set up your own Montessori preschool. This can help you do that as well. Or if you don't want to set up a preschool, but you want to set up a activity center or a daycare. So a Montessori course helps you do any of these, whatever you are aspiring for. Or if you're just a Montessori enthusiast and you want to know more about it and you want to, sort of write blogs about it, write content about it. It can help you there. So Up Educators is running a Montessori teachers training live interactive course. In this course, we offer you a comprehensive kit of the materials which you can see on your screen so that you have the opportunity to learn hands-on. Of course, the presentations will be given online, but you get the opportunity to practice alongside and also present them online. So you get the opportunity to learn by doing and master the Montessori method. Now, before we go further, I'll not take much of your time and I'll give you a demo on the pink tars. Just give me a second to adjust my camera, please. Can you see both the videos? Great. So what I have here is the pink tar. Now in the classes in our Montessori areas, the pink tars are kept in shelves. For the time being, I've kept it here only next to you so that you can all see it clearly. So in any Montessori presentation, we always invite the child first, saying, let's say we do the presentation in the mornings in the classroom. So you will say, good morning, child. How are you today? Are you interested in a new activity? When the child says yes, okay, today we are going to work with the pink tar. Let me show you where it is kept. So I take the child to the shelf, then I show him, these are the sensorial shelves and this is where the pink cubes are kept. Usually they will be kept like this, in the shelf, in the form of a tar only. Okay, so I tell the child, these are the pink cubes. And this is how we hold the pink cube. I have him see how to hold one with 2 fingers and let him try. And then he say, can you help me take them to the work area one by one? So we come to the work area on the floor. So I carry one, the child carries the other. And we both bring them one by one and place them randomly on the floor. Teacher may indicate so the child knows where to place it. So this way, there are 10 cubes. So teacher and child take 5 trips to bring them one by one. In doing this, the child is getting the muscular impression of size and also weight. Every time it is becoming bigger and his fingers are stretching more. And when they become really bigger, so then you show the child how to hold them like this. Because for the child's tiny hands, they are heavy. So this way we bring all the 10 cubes to the work area. Once we have brought them all, we sit down. Teacher sits on the dominant side of the child, which is usually the right side. So after that, after sitting down, the rule is to always, introduce everything to the child. So here I will say, so child, these are the pink cubes, and then the activity. Today we shall work with them and make a tower. You watch me carefully, and then it shall be your turn. Thereafter, I'll just be quiet and just do the steps, but maintain eye contact with the child so that the child doesn't run away. And also I promise the child that you will get a chance to try. Child may talk in the middle. Ma'am, these are pink. This is big. This is small. So you have to maneuver that and sort of steer him in the. So in this way, I complete the making of the duck. And I keep looking at the child from time to time, so the child is engaged with me. Once I have completed them, I tell the child, shall we take an aerial view? So then we both get up and we walk around the tower from all sides. We go to the left first and then we look at it and admire it. Then we go to the opposite side, we admire it. Then the other side, we admire it. And then we come back and sit. Then I'll tell the child, now, are you interested in trying? So when child says yes, can you please help me dismantle it? So child will, both the child and me, we both dismantle it. Meaning put them randomly again. So once we do that, then I let the child try. So I give the child as much space, as much time the child needs to make it. So when the child has made, once again, then I say, let's take an aerial view. So we both take an aerial view again. Then we come back and sit down and then I conclude that. So child, today we have worked with the pink cubes and we've made a beautiful tower if it has come out well. You are free to make it whenever you like. If you need any help, you can come to me anytime. Shall we wind up now? Could you please help me return them to the shelf? So now we go back because they are dismantled. So we pick up the bigger one. So teacher takes the bigger one, then the child takes the next one and we go and place it back in the shelf. Now, if you see, in this simple activity, actually it is leading to the child's holistic development. It is refining the child's visual skill, visual perception of size and dimension, right? Eye-hand coordination, fine motor skills are being developed for writing, okay? Then mathematical skills or vocabulary is being built for language. Then mathematical skills, there is gradation. Either we do it in a descending or a ascending order. So there is seriation, there is precision. Okay, so it prepares him for maths. And also the cubes are 10 in number. And our decimal system is based on the power of 10. Meaning after every 10, the hierarchy changes. So the child is being prepared for that. It leads to his intellectual development, trial and error, problem solving, critical thinking. So in a way, and when the child has made it, he's made it, then he gets a sense of achievement. It builds confidence. So emotional development, also social development, because we teach him how to pick it up from a certain place, how to put it back. So responsibility and patience. So in a way, all the pillars of his personality are becoming stronger and holistically he's being developed. Also, he's getting muscular impression of size and shape. He can feel and see how each cube is becoming bigger than the first one. And while carrying, indirectly, he's also getting an idea of their weight, how it is increasing or decreasing. So many things are happening just by making this star. And after showing this demonstration, you let the child work with it as many times as he wants. Once he is satisfied he has done it, and then he would not want to work with it anymore. Till that time, he will keep doing it. And once he has learned how to make a tower, the child may try to make a stair pattern. He may combine it with other materials and probably make a Qutub Minar or a Burj Khalifa or something like that. So that leads to creativity and imagination. So there are multiple aims of this presentation. So now I'll just give you quickly some information on the certifications we have. We have a diploma in Montessori course completion. Certificate looks like this. Now, in addition, we also have a Skill India certificate, which is government recognized. And we have a postgraduate diploma in Montessori course completion certificate. Whoever is doing this course also gets a Google certification, which is a part of this course. You get 100% placement assistance, help in resume building, interview skills, portfolio. Workshops will be taken for all of these presentation skills. In this manner, we've trained 1,000 plus educators who are currently working for the various preschools, some of which names are on your screens now. So your faculty, this is myself. My name is Chetan Preet. I have been in this area for more than 17 years. I also started as a preschool educator. Soon I was, shortlisted to become a Montessori trainer. And I started by, creating a center from scratch. And thereafter, I became head of teacher training for a very reputed organization, which handles pan-India Montessori teacher trainings. And currently, I am consulting schools to set up Montessori and also mentoring at App Educators. We have other senior faculty at App Educators for all of the courses. For NTT and ECC, we have Miss Upasna and Miss Nishita, and Miss Manju Borkar is our academic head. From time to time, we also have visiting faculty, and you get chance to attend their workshops if you're doing our courses. So we have two variants, diploma and a PG diploma in Montessori teachers training. The diploma is a 6 months course. We have a 4 months live training and 2 months of 2 months extra time is given if due to any reason, because many of you could be working and you have other responsibilities and you're not able to complete your assignments alongside. So in total, we have 6 months. There are assignments and journal making, which are fully explained, guided in the course itself. You are not left to do things on your own. You are given guidance for everything, presentation skills, Viva, and you get a kit of 12 items. Now, it has been upgraded to 12 items. The course outline is Montessori philosophy, which is necessary if you do this course. The Montessori setup, sociology, psychology, how to plan curriculum, the 5 key learning areas, which are practical life, sensorial, language, which includes phonetics. We have a beautiful language module, beautiful maths module, which teaches in a concrete to abstract method, and the cultural subjects. So all of this is the course outline for the diploma course. I'm sure you must be also curious to know what the fee. The fee for the course is 17,900, and there is a kit which you get for an additional 15,900. Every student gets their own kit. Then we have a PG diploma in the Montessori teachers training, which is a 12-month course, 8 months of training plus 4 months you get to complete your assignments, which has again 15 assignments and journals, material development, presentation skills, mock interviews, demo class, Viva, all of these things are included here in the Montessori kit. The outline of the courses, the term 1 is the same as the diploma course. The term 2 this is a more rounded course. It has observation in Montessori, assessment in Montessori, involving parents and community, behavioral and learning difficulties in children, child welfare, health and safety, and calligraphy. So it's a complete early years program with specialization in Montessori. The training fee is 24,900 and the Montessori kit is for an additional 21,000. So no, surprise, surprise. For those of you who choose to enroll today and fill your forms, you get the kit free, meaning the diploma course you get in 17,900 instead of 33,800, including the training and kit. You don't have to pay extra for the kit. The PG diploma you get for the 24,900 instead of 46,800. But only if you fill your form, which I'll be sharing now today. A few testimonials on your screens. I'm not going to read them. You can see how many people, and you can always visit our website to see them, have gained and benefited from these courses. They have found these skills invaluable. Not only teachers or aspiring teachers, but also parents. For both popular courses offered by App Educators, you can always visit our website, www.appeducators.com. Now on your screen, you see this link. You need to click on this link and fill this form. It is also essential for you to get your certificate, which you will get after completing this webinar. So on the basis of that, you will get that also. But if you want to get admission to this course, then also you need to fill this form. Please see if you can click here. If you can't click, I am also sharing it in the chat. You can click over there. Can you see it in the chats? And now is also the time if you have any questions for me. It is shared in the main chat. Not in, I can't share in everyone's chat separately. So I have shared in the everyone chat. I'm sure everyone can see it now. Tell me, can you see it? Give me a sign if you can see it. Yes. So please click on it and fill it. And you will get the certificate also. Any queries, please feel free to ask me here. I am now unsharing the presentation because the link is available to you in the chat. Are we able to click and fill it? Hetal, do you have a query? Okay, yes. If anyone is facing any issue, please let me know. Okay, I will reshare the link. I have reshared, okay? See if you can click on it now. Most welcome. Those who have any queries can stay back. Others, if you have filled the form and you are not interested in the course, you're free to leave. Okay. Thank you for being patient and being here today. Welcome, Neetu. Is anyone still filling? Welcome, Lavanya. Vivo, someone has joined with the name of Vivo. Yes, you will. You can get. Thank you, Dalthia. God bless you. If you fill the form, the certificate will appear. Sure, Shweta. Same here. Okay, then goodbye, everyone. Good night. Thank you for being such a wonderful audience. God bless everyone.